Welcome back to Morning Devotionals. Today I want to spend a few moments talking about, God, first off, but specifically about God's love for creation and ultimately for you and I. And I've been personally studying the book of Job the past 2 weeks, and I'm nearing the end of Job, and there's some of my favorite chapters in all of the Bible, chapters 38 through 42 of Job. In the book we see Job is this righteous and upright man who walks before God in obedience. And he has a lot of things, right? He's a big family, he's wealthy with livestock, but in the book, a lot of things end up going wrong. He loses most of his family, his livestock, his means for wealth, and he ends up being extremely sick, covered in boils, which is a painful disease that he has, and he's left there questioning what in the world God was doing. And near the end of the book, this whole book of him questioning, in an amazing moment of both power but also of love for Job, God shows up and responds to Job. And he shows Job who he is as God. In fact, there's a verse where God asks Job, do you have an arm like God's? And it's one of my favorite verses in the Bible because it cracks me up every single time, because it's literally God asking this kind of sarcastic question to Job, saying, okay, hold your arm up, look at yours, and look at mine. Mine is bigger, right? And he's not just trying to compare arms, he's trying to tell Job, I am in control. You have no need to question me. That's what he's doing all throughout these chapters. But as he's responding, as God is responding in this way, there's a string of questions that God asks Job about creation and about him being in control over it. Job 39 verses 1 through 2 says, do you know when the mountain goats give birth? Do you observe the calving of the does? Can you number the months that they fulfill, and do you know the time when they give birth? Right here we see God is in control of when these random mountain goats on random mountains are giving birth. He's in control over that. He's sovereign over that. Verse 19 through 22 says, do you give the horse his might? Do you clothe his neck with a mane? Do you make him leap like the locust? His majestic snorting is terrifying. He paws in the valley and exults in his strength. He goes out to meet the weapons. He laughs at fear and is not dismayed. He does not turn back from the sword. So here we see God equipped the horse with courage, right? He created the horse with no fear of battle, with courage, to be able to run fast, clothed him with a mane. And then in verse 26 through 28, God says, is it by your understanding that the hawk soars and spreads his wings toward the south? Is it at your command that the eagle mounts up and makes his nest on high? On the rock he dwells and makes his home. On the rocky crag his stronghold. So here we see God is in control in providing for a hawk his home, where he will be safe. And I love these verses because it shows God's love and understanding of his creation. While there's a sense of fear when reading this passage because it's showing God's power, you can also hear in God's voice a sense of delight. He delights and loves his creation. He's proud of his creation. He's proud of what his hands have created and designed. But what does that mean for us? Well, we're also his creation, and even more prized of his creation because we're made in his own image. In Matthew chapter 6, verses 25 through 30, Jesus is speaking to the people and his disciples and telling them that they have no need to worry, that there's no need for anxiety. And he does this by comparing the way that he provides for birds and flowers in comparison to the way that he provides for his people. Jesus says this, therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you by being anxious can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, they neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon, in all of his glory, was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, would he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Here we see examples of God's love and provision for his creation. But Jesus emphasizes that if God would care for a bird or a flower, which is here one day, the next day is thrown into the fire, how much more does he care for us, for you and me? And this is a great encouragement to us as people. That's why Jesus asks, oh, you of little faith, why are you worrying? I clothe the flowers. I provide for random birds in the field, right? You have no reason to be anxious in your life. This is a great encouragement that the God of the universe, who has an arm bigger than ours and is in full control and sovereign over everything, loves us and delights in us as his creation. Knowing this leaves no room for anxiety or worry in any area of life. And then also encourages and motivates us to delight in our Creator, to spend time knowing him more from his word and from spending time talking with him in prayer. He delights in us and we get the chance of delighting in him. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe, stay frosty, stay groovy. We'll catch you all on the flippity flop.